In the early hours of January 31, 2021, a peaceful church service was shattered when a 51-year-old woman was shot dead. And to make it all worse, the service was live-streamed on Facebook. The police were immediately called to the Agape Christian Fellowship Church in Falmouth, Trelawney, only to find a horrifying scene. Lying on the floor of the church, covered in multiple gunshot wounds and lifeless, was Andrea Lowe Garwood. As the police scrambled for answers, they would uncover a shocking discovery. The person behind it all was her own son. But the horrors did not end there, because behind the execution was a twisted web of betrayal that no one could have expected. This is the life and death of Andrea Lowe Garwood.
What the?
This tragedy takes place in Trelawney, on Jamaica's northwestern coast, which is a quiet, rural parish known for its lush landscapes, strong community ties, and relatively low crime rate. With its capital as Falmouth, life there moves at an easy pace, shaped by tradition and trust. But that peace would be shattered and infected in the most unthinkable way. Crime was spreading rapidly across Jamaica. In January 2021 alone, 113 people were murdered, 24 in a single weekend, and even a curfew couldn't stop the brutal killing of 5 homeless individuals in the capital. That same wave of violence crept into the quiet town of Falmouth, adding another name to the growing statistic: Andrea Lowe Garwood. Born on May 27, 1969, Andrea Lowe Garwood was a deeply admired and cherished individual. From a young age, she was full of passion for life. She was a girl who knew what she wanted and was determined to get it. With unwavering faith and a tireless spirit, this little girl was well on her way to building a successful career and leaving a lasting impact on everyone she met. Andrea later secured a position at the National Commercial Bank in Montego Bay, where she dedicated over 20 years as the regional credit card manager. Her colleagues described her as exceptionally hardworking, committed to excellence, and a natural leader. Even her boss said that she could not relate to mediocre work and was widely considered the life of the party. This enthusiasm and compassion touched many and soon opened the doors to a very significant relationship in her life. Andrea met and fell in love with her first husband. Though much of their life together remained private, Andrea shared a quiet, meaningful life with her first husband, a chapter that gave her one of her greatest joys: her son, Andre Williams. Named after his mother, she completely adored her son, and he became the center of her world, and this was evident in everything. Andrea often referred to him affectionately as her nice, clean pickney, and frequently prayed for his protection and guidance. This deep maternal bond was a cornerstone of her life, as she would move mountains to raise and nurture him right. So, she made a huge move. At the age of 47, Andrea moved from St. James to Trelawney, where she built a wonderful community for her little family. She became an active member of the Agape Christian Fellowship Church, where she was recognized for her proactive and uplifting nature. She was constantly celebrated for her warmth and generosity. Don Henry, the church secretary, described her as a real go-getter who brought energy and professionalism to every task. After years of focusing on her faith, family, and career, Andrea began to feel the quiet ache of something missing: love. Having been hurt before, she wasn't willing to settle, so she carefully wrote out a list of everything she wanted in a man. Gradually, however, doubts crept in about ever finding that man. Just when she began to forget that dream, life gave her a pleasant surprise. Jeffrey Garwood was a tour bus operator with a warm and kind spirit. He was 8 years older than Andrea, and they were a perfect match made in heaven. From the moment they met, Andrea and Jeffrey instantly shared mutual affection and so many other experiences and values. Just like Andrea, Jeffrey had a profound devotion to God and was passionate about his faith. Also, he understood her struggles of parenting as he had 4 young boys of his own. He held an unwavering love and devotion towards them, which Andrea fell in love with.
Many men are trying, but she needs to be more than wine and dine because she's royal, yeah, so royal, yeah. I want her in my life, everywhere you want, so divine, the way she moves, you are only.
Everything was perfect, maybe a little too perfect, and Andrea started to worry. She was worried about the speed of the relationship, but their love was clear to see and their devotion to each other was deep. Since everything was going smoothly and he was a literal manifestation of what she wanted, she gave in to the love.
I say no matter what them say, and no matter what them do, I love it for
Soon, Andrea's family multiplied as she and Jeffrey united in the ultimate bond. In 2017, they tied the knot at the altar and were joined as husband and wife. Andrea and Jeffrey then bought a home together in Stonebrook Manor, a prestigious, gated residential community located in Florence Hall near Falmouth in Trelawney Parish, Jamaica. This was the start of a new beginning. The life in a blended family was not as easy as she thought. Although Andrea was delighted to be a part of this new family and explore her new relationships with her 4 new sons, she eventually admitted that blending into Jeffrey's family wasn't easy. His children were already grown and keenly aware that Andrea wasn't their mother, creating a distance that wasn't easy to bridge. Still, Jeffrey's unwavering love gave her the strength to keep reaching out and try to mirror the bond she shared with them. But just as she began to find her rhythm in this new family, the love that held her steady was torn away. In July 2020, Jeffrey Garwood kissed his wife goodbye and left for what should have been just another day on the road. That ordinary routine turned fatal when he was killed in a motor vehicle crash in St. James. It was reportedly caused by a getaway car filled with men fleeing the police. The tragedy shook Andrea to her core, never knowing that this violent, unexpected end was a chilling foreshadowing of her similar fate.
That began my journey of painful grief. Hot. And as a church sister of mine, she said it beautiful. She said, Andrea, you cannot explain grief to people. They have to experience it. And so for me, the experiencing of this grief, it comes with a lot of mixed emotions that I can't explain. But you notice that song, Gracefully Broken?
Yes.
I am intent on being gracefully broken.
Yes.
After Jeffrey's sudden passing, the reading of his will revealed that a significant portion of his property, including their home, had been left to Andrea, along with provisions for some of his sons. But Jeffrey's final act of love and protection quickly sparked a deep and dangerous conflict. Not everyone was pleased with the terms, and their outrage wasn't quiet. It was loud, bitter, and would soon take a dark and unforgiving turn. Almost immediately after Jeffrey's death, Andrea started receiving death threats from some of Jeffrey's relatives, demanding she sell the house and share the proceeds. The threats escalated to the point where Andrea had to request police protection just to attend her husband's funeral. Despite the danger, she stood her ground, unaware that this bitter dispute was spiraling toward a deadly end. Andrea remained unyielding and chose to continue to live her life as best she could. She went to her office, did her job, met up with friends, and of course, found solace in her faith by attending church every Sunday. But this predictable routine would make her an easy target for her enemies to attack. On January 31st, 2021, the heated struggles that tore through the Lowe Garwood family exploded when Andrea attended church as usual. Not wanting to leave any of their members out, Agape Christian Fellowship Church streamed their service on Facebook Live for everyone to participate. The service wrapped everyone up and immersed them in such worship and serenity that almost nobody noticed when a man who was very oddly dressed entered, except one man. Some minutes after 9 a.m., a senior church member noticed a young man walk in with a hat and a handkerchief tied around his face to improvise a mask. He quietly took a seat behind Andrea and seemed to join the service. The elder briefly considered confronting him about his unusual and inappropriate attire, but chose to wait until the service ended. It was a moment of hesitation that would quickly haunt him forever. The service continued to progress peacefully, but this peace would not last. Soon, the service moved to the praise and worship session, and that was when he struck. In a single fluid motion, the man stood and unleashed bullets into Andrea's upper body, shattering the calm with terrifying precision. Though the moment itself wasn't captured on camera, the live stream recorded the deafening sound of gunfire, followed by chilling screams and chaos as panic erupted inside the sanctuary.